Hi everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Praneet Singh, who is the director at Upgrad Abroad and heads product and partnerships. Thank you so much for being here today, Praneet. So to begin with, which university are we discussing today? And would you like to highlight some of its distinguishing features for our students?
Thank you for having me, Raki. We're talking about Yeshiva University this evening. It's a Manhattan, New York-based school. It's a very intensive institution of science, of health, of business. There are possibly thousands of students that internationally mobilize to Yeshiva. It's a very eminent partner for us. Over the last 3 years, I think we've mobilized over 200 students to Yeshiva. Yeshiva is an R2 school, which means it has a very high activity of research. R2, for our viewers, is a Carnegie classification of research-driven schools. So that aside, I think Yeshiva is possibly one of the largest schools, Raki, that holds a large symposium. There are possibly, I think, about 75, 80 patents that come out of that school every year. So they are incredible at what they do. Our portfolio with Yeshiva encompasses AI, cybersecurity, biotechnology, digital marketing.
Sure.
I think it's one of those schools. Now look, Indian students for the longest time have had a very strong concentrated focus on STEM designated courses because, of course, they give you a 3-year post-study work visa, or what you call as 1+2. So I think on the value for money standpoint, this is New York's #1 school. The entire New York state, which possibly has 1,000 schools, if not lesser. Among them, this is the #1 best value school on US News. So I'm saying they've sort of leveraged this STEM designated courses, made some really cutting edge interdisciplinary courses out of this opportunity to offer STEM courses to international students. For example, they've got biotechnology that features drug development, drug discovery, pharmacology, the statutory compliance of how you do R&D with vaccines, and so on and so forth. In their media and marketing course, which is also STEM, one of the only media and marketing courses that are STEM in the US, they have people who've been CMOs of Fortune 500 companies come and teach students marketing. Their digital marketing media program, Raki, is very intensive on web analytics, on Gen AI, on SEM, SEO when it comes to analytics. But it's so it's so driven by data science and analytics and SEO and SEM that it's almost like a good marriage of how do you put Gen AI, analytics, possibly machine learning into any marketing activity you can think of, and how do larger brands operate. So I'm saying their ability to very finally from a granular level, kind of revamp the very DNA of how any discipline in the world can become STEM and data driven is excellent. So that's one such school that I especially want to spend some time on.
Sure. So Praneet, you spoke of some very niche courses, whether it's AI, biotechnology, or digital marketing. Who would you say is an ideal candidate for Yeshiva University?
I think somebody who has a very strong focus on research is an ideal candidate for Yeshiva. For the longest time, at least the last 5 years, I've heard so many schools say that, hey, we maintain a very small faculty to student ratio. We maintain a very small class size. I think Yeshiva kind of internalizes this. Their singular ability to work with every single student on research, and the amount of research papers, patents, the amount of fully sponsored PhDs that they're genuinely invested in, the kind of industrial exposure they give every student. You wouldn't believe this. there is an absolute ability that they hold. 100% of their AI students are placed in some internship or the other.
Perfect.
So I'm using the word place. Place sometimes means that the school owns the accountability. Not always, because they facilitate. Schools in the US facilitate that. You, of course, interview, you try your luck with which company suits you the best, but their ability to get everybody on an internship in the middle of the program for a 4-credit internship. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, Google, IBM, Maersk, almost 50 such employees that they have. That's impeccable. So an ideal student is somebody who genuinely wants a small class size, wants the faculty's time, and wants to do extensive research. In the last 3 years, I think they've had, in all of their symposiums, they've brought out innovative, cutting-edge, pioneering models of medical research, of research on genome sciences, research on computer vision engineering, research on very fine banking models. Incredible. I mean, just blows you away. If my viewers have some time, you should definitely check out Yeshiva's CAT School of Science and Health and click on their symposium output. You will see the absolute innovative models that they've built year on year and how they've contributed to so much research that happens at the US and is actually driving the world's largest economy. It's schools like Yeshiva. They're not a factory. They're not a machine. No, they do not take tens of thousands of students. Maybe they take a few hundreds. But these students, when they graduate, everybody's doing something meaningful in that field, impactful, and creating prototypes that the world hasn't seen in the past.
So what is the upgrad advantage for students, and what makes an upgrad student a perfect fit for Yeshiva University?
Excellent. I think Yeshiva is very choosy, very selective, very restrictive in terms of who enters the classroom. As recent as 2025 spring intake, all of the admissions that we've been doing for so long, their average class size is about 25 students, and that's all of the international students that are going to be. I mean, that's the cohort size of international students entering Yeshiva. And we have 100% admit rate for them.
Okay.
So I'm saying this is an exclusive niche school. So one of the upgrade advantages that you get in.
Yeah.
I think the second is their normal tuition is about $48,000. For our students, it's 26, so it's almost half. The third advantage is Yeshiva, I mean, with something very rare, but they want math and programming as a prerequisite, which is normal. But they want a 3.3 GPA. That's about 90% on math and programming courses. They want a very robust foundation of programming, quantitative aptitude, statistics, calculus, advanced calculus, possibly one language to its very depth, Java or Python. And so this added layer of, say, programming prowess and quantitative capability, this is delivered very finely to the deepest nuances by upgrad to its students.
Okay.
When our students go through IIIT Bangalore certificate, they do deep learning, AI, computer vision engineering, machine learning, data toolkit statistics, advanced statistics, so on and so forth. That just puts these students in the right bracket of what Yeshiva considers as admissible students. So that's what makes them ideally a good fit for the school.
Perfect. Now my next question is that when you speak of a student, someone who graduates from Yeshiva University, what would you say are the roles and opportunities that Yeshiva prepares them for? And are they able to achieve their intended career outcomes?
Excellent. I saw somebody from their cybersecurity MS get a job for $240,000.
Wow.
That's about 2 crore rupees. Just as I think in itself is a huge testament to the quality of students they produce year on year and day on day. I think the number one thing that students look out for, especially upgrad students, is because they do 3 out of the 12 classes, or they do 2 out of the 10, whichever, wherever you've got shorter courses. You have a lot of time on your watch for research.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning before, they give you a lot of opportunity to work with industrial stalwarts, industrial groups, corporates, to go and do research for them. They have a lot of homegrown startups that they work on. They have a lot of in situ research that goes on. So of course, many of these roles are paid.
Sure.
Talk about a TA or an RA or a GA, or 3 roles are paid, and students can look forward to these roles, especially upgrad students, because they've got extra time. The students are busy doing 3 semesters and doing their courses. Upgrad students are just supposed to do 2 and they're done. The second thing, of course, is internship as a curricular aspect. You have to do an internship. Yeshiva was super instrumental. I mean, look, in relativity, it's much easier for schools to find an internship for a class that's just 25 in number, rather than doing something for hundreds of students. So students get the opportunity to do internships with JP Morgan, like I was telling you, EY, Daimler, Chase, Google, IBM, McKinsey, BCG. Here's some of these larger groups, including pharmaceutical groups like Moderna, P&G, Pfizer, Novartis. So I'm saying just so many internship chances that you get, because it's curricular, it's for credit. And then, of course, some of these companies, 8 out of 10 times, these companies will pick you as a full-time employee. So I'm saying, I don't think there's any student I've heard of from Yeshiva that wasn't placed or that did not get a job at all. In all of these jobs, the average salary is about $112,000, $115,000 just to begin with. That's incredible. And look, this is coming from a school that's $26,000 in tuition. 5 times the money that you're making.
Sure. Perfect. I think it sounds like an excellent fit. And from this conversation, what I've also gathered is that the curriculum at Yeshiva is super rigorous. So what would you say to a student who's considering it right out of college? Is that the right time to consider it? Or would you say it's preferable to go to Yeshiva once they have some years of work experience?
Work experience is not mandatory. What is required, although, is that they've got an excellent base of foundational capabilities. If you're doing AI, computer science, or DAV, it is quintessential to have programming capabilities, like I said, quantitative capabilities. But I think they take prerequisites very seriously. And you can't tell me that at some point in your life you've done statistics, so that's that. No. They have a certain benchmarked grade. They have benchmarked modules. They have stipulated what is it that you must know, and if you don't have it, you do it with upgrad and then come. Of course, besides that, they're doing AI and machine learning with us. So, long story short, I think work experience is not mandatory. Like I said earlier, if you're focused on research, if you're focused on getting a fully sponsored PhD, if your focus is that you want to be involved in groundbreaking research in drug development or digital marketing, right fit is someone who's very invested in research, who wants to work on prototypes that are innovative, pioneering our groundbreaking models
Sure.
in the field of medicine or healthcare or digital marketing or AI or cybersecurity. It could be anyone. Plus, there are certain courses like computer science in Yeshiva, cybersecurity, including marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You can be from any field and you can walk in.
Perfect.
When I went to Yeshiva last, I saw a police officer in NYPD taking a sabbatical to do cybersecurity at the school. So I'm saying, and that student, I think that cop was from a BA background. So I'm saying there's some side of them that's very liberal to students who are cross-domain entrance into a course. So that's very, very interesting because this is a school that wants the most intricate prerequisites done. But at the same time, things that they feel are very cross-disciplinary in terms of penetration of these capabilities, say cybersecurity and police. Excellent combination. Of course, cybersecurity and marketing.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity and healthcare when I'm feeding in my information about any personal, to the deepest level, the most personal details about
Sure.
me, my background, my family, and who I am and what I'm going through. So they are very open for such students as well. So I am saying, work experience, no.
Yeah.
The intention, yes. The long sight that you have that, hey, this is not ending with my master's, is a fully sponsored PhD that I want. No, it's not ending with master's. I have this enkindled rush that I want to build a prototype that the world has never seen. So like someone who wants to work for Tesla better start with Yeshiva. Someone who wants to start with, say, Google must start from there because these are employers that value more than the classroom skills.
Correct.
And so Yeshiva spends a lot of time outside the classroom than it does.
Perfect.
Inside.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Praneeth. It was incredible hosting you. Thank you to all our viewers. I hope with this you have all the necessary information to help you pick the right school. If you have any further questions, please reach out to us at upgradabroad.com.